Hello everyone, welcome to Cornflower Crafts. My nickname is Corn, and this is the third try for this video. Hopefully third time's a charm. And this is a project share for a Shabby Chic card that I made for a friend of mine here on YouTube. And I wanted her to know I was thinking of her. And she loves Shabby Chic as much as I do. And so I kind of laughed while I was creating this because I thought, it looks like something you would want. So I know if I make something for her, if I like it, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure she will as well. And she's a darling here. And I will probably put this up before she gets it. Therefore, that's why I'm not saying who. And, and let me see. So I'll show you. Put this aside for a second. The paper that I used for this is Magic Love by Frank Garcia. And it's gorgeous. It's beautiful. If you love greens and creams and white and pink roses, well, you know. I also use from the Paper Studio couple of these tiny little paper flowers. I used this die by Spellbinders. It's Thoughtful Expressions, and I got this on clearance at Hobby Lobby some time ago. It was quite some time ago. And I used this little punch because only for the heart, if you do the corners of your, I think this is Paper Studio too, yep. If you do the corner of your, well, I've got some scraps here. Let me see. For example, okay, like this. Okay. What happens is you just get that darling little, it rounds your corner, and you get that darling little heart punched out. But I needed this darling little heart right here to dot the eyes in my thinking of you because I lost them. Have you ever done that? They're so tiny and they're on your desk, and then you move the card to get something else, and boom, they're on your rug, and there's just no way you're going to find them on your rug because of the pattern in the rug and stuff. So I was like, uh-oh. And I thought, oh no, I can use those teeny tiny little hearts to dot my eyes. So what I did was take my distressing tool here, and I used this blade right here. And you can accomplish the same effect with your scissors. Most of you all already know this, but just in case you don't, and go with your, say this is your paper, and just, you know, distress it. You also know, because a lot of people show this, it's not new to me at all, it's not mine. You can also distress your paper further by pulling, you know, like creating a tear and then pulling that back to give it some more dimension. You can actually pull it back and then tear it off to give it more of a distressed look. There's, as you know, so many things you can do. And then I went around this one with the Distress ink in Sponge Sugar and Kitsch Flamingo. Sometimes I combine those two because, to me, the Sponge Sugar kind of calms down the Kitsch Flamingo a little bit. You know what I mean? If you don't want that bright a pink. And this one was going around in Distress Oxide with Salvage Patina. And then I put this piece of lace. Now this was lace fabric. So I just cut out a piece of fabric that is lace and started with that. Then I put this die cut here. I can show it to you. I don't remember who puts this out. It is a scalloped oval. It's a nesting die, and I use it a lot because I just think it's so beautiful. I love scallop anything, really. I think it's gorgeous. And then these leaves right here, the ones that have a lot of glitter on them, that is from a punch. These leaves here, the very light green glittered, they are from a punch as well. And then these are from these darker pink leaves. They are from trim, just cut off of trim that I got at Hobby Lobby. This pretty organza ribbon flower that I got off of Amazon, guys. And they had a bunch of pink items, pink bows, pink flowers, pink, you know, and that's one of them. I think it is adorable that they took the seed beads in a string and then either glued them down or sewed them down. I just thought that was precious, and the person who's going to get this, I think, will appreciate the beading in the middle as well. Then these flowers are from the Paper Studio as well, but I took the Kitsch Flamingo and went around them to give them a little more shading. And once I saw that, I was like, well, I like it, but it's starting to look too much like this paper. So I took one of my paint brushes. I've already cleaned it and put it up, but in white acrylic paint, and just started to take just the tip of the brush and try to draw the white up to the end of the petals to make them look more like veins in the flowers. And also these little ones, I showed them to you, they usually have a little tiny wooden bead in the center, and I take those out and I put some, here it is, my stickles and frosted lace in the center of those. And while I had my paintbrush wet, I didn't want to splatter paint over everything. You can cover, you know what you don't want, you can cover it. But I liked the way it was looking like it was, and I was like, But I wanted this solid piece to have a little something, so you can just dip it in your paint and just very lightly touch the paper there, or heavily touch it for there. And yeah, I'm kind of happy that it's just on that and nowhere else this time. A lot of times I like it splattered everywhere, but I didn't want that done this time. Then I had a little piece of lace that I dyed with the acrylic paint as well. And then I don't remember where I got this teacup dye. I had it for some time, and I'm not sure. I really don't, because I took it out of its packaging, so I'm not really sure who makes it either. But as you see, all these spaces are open here. So what I did was took a piece of, I had like a little scrap left over from the wording, and I glued it onto there, and then I fussy cut around it so that it fit, you know, so that it looked like it was part of the cup. As you see, I've got some flat back pearls. And then when it came to these two ribbons, what I did was put them together and then tie them in a little knot, real tight knot, because you don't want a big one, and then put it under, glued it under this flower, and then cut them so that they wouldn't be off. I didn't want them off of the card because, as you know, even if your envelope is larger to fit your card, they'll get kind of smushed. So that's how the card came out. And here's the envelope. Now, as you all know, a lot of times if you give your cards this much dimension, a lot of people make a box for them to go in, but I didn't. What I do is I make an envelope for them to go in. I do have an envelope punch board, and what I do is I get my dimensions of my card. This is an A2, I think that's, but I get this out in case you all are interested. I do have some new subbies who are starting out, so in case they're like, well, which one did you get? I'm sure there's a lot of other envelope punch boards, but with this being an A2 card, I do it regular like they tell me to. I do the size of the paper, and then I punch where they tell me to. But once it's flat, you know, once it's out of there and it's flat, then I put my card in them, and I make sure that I go, see how wonky it is? That is, I don't normally make them, you know, this would not, you know, this would be flat down. This is so wonky because I need to get around here. And this paper is copy paper, and I dyed that also with the acrylic paint. And so once I have this right in the center where it's going to be, that's when I then glue these two sides, because I don't want anything to flatten it out, so that the only thing you have to be careful with when you put it in are these ribbons, because they are right at the edge. And see, other than that, it's not a struggle, because as you see, it's not tight on it. And then I will put a sticker right here. This paper here is the same as the teacup. This is what the teacup was punched out of. Here's my Kitsch Flamingo and spun sugar on the side. Then this little bow does not want to stay down like that. This bow is part of the, remember I told you my pink items off of Amazon? This was part of them. We all know I can make that bow. You all can make that bow, but sometimes, I don't know about y'all, but sometimes I'm like, I don't want to make the bow. 9 times out of 10, I do it anyway, but if it's already made for me and it came with all those darling other little pink items, I'll use that one. But what I would have done was turn the bling this way so it was a diamond shape in the center, but you know, to each his own. And then here is from the paper the little stamp, and I would just put for and then her name here. And so that's what I made for my friend here on YouTube, to let her know I'm thinking of her. And I'd like to thank you all so much for joining me today. And I hope you have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening. Bye-bye, everybody. Take good care.